Thursday, October 16th. Start over. This is the Thursday, October 16th, 2025, Oldham County Board of Adjustments and Appeals public hearings. This morning we have 6 hearings on the docket, and the first thing we have to take care of is an internal issue that we do annually, and that is the election of the officers of the Board of Adjustments. There's 3 officers. There's the chairman, the vice chairman, and the secretary. And so I'm the acting chair, or I have been the acting chair for a couple of months. So I'll take nominations for the chair position.
I'll nominate Mr. Perko for chair, please.
I'll accept.
Does it have to be seconded? I'll second that nomination.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other nominations? Okay. We'll have a vote then for the chair.
Aye.
Motion, I need a motion. Is there, you're making the motion?
Yes.
Okay. Motion to elect me as the chair. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, a second, I guess need a second. Second from you, okay.
Sure.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. The next one is the vice chair. I need a nomination for the vice chair position.
I can't say his name. I nominate, is it Rob?
David?
David, I'm sorry. Vice chair.
Okay. David Gray.
Okay,
Yep.
I'll second that. Any other nominations? Okay. So there's a motion and second for David, and all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous. Okay, then we need nomination for the secretary position.
I'll nominate Mark Allen as secretary.
I'll second that.
Motion and second for Mark. Any other nominations? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Okay. From that, we can thank you for everybody for your patience while we got through that. We're calling the meeting to order, and we're swearing in the staff. The first thing is to swear in the staff.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Thank you.
Okay, so now you know who the positions are: chairman, vice chairman, and secretary. And so the process is that we will have the staff introduce each of the 6 cases for the public hearing. We'll ask the staff for any letters that were received in support or opposition of the application. The staff will make a presentation, and then there will be a presentation by the applicant or their legal representative. Any cases, I don't know if there are cases from an LLC or a corporation, need to be represented by an attorney. Everybody else can represent themselves as an individual. So the applicant has 20 minutes, no more, can be less, to come forward. Please make sure that you speak into the microphone to talk about or to state your case. We'll need your name and address, and you'll need to be sworn in. And then we'll have testimony from anybody in favor of the application. That'll be limited to 10 minutes. Each person must state their name and address and be sworn in. And then the board will ask questions of those speaking in favor. And then the next thing will be the testimony from anyone opposing the application. They will have 10 minutes. They'll have to be stating their name, address, and be sworn in. And then there will be, that's 10 minutes, and then a rebuttal for up to 5 minutes with questioning of the applicant by the board, and then a rebuttal by the opposition, up to 5 minutes, and then final statements by the opposition and final statements by the applicant. And then we will close the floor for discussion, and then we'll have discussion among the board, and then we'll make a decision about the case. So, with that, the first case, did I cover everything? Yep, okay. The first case is case number 25-37.
Good morning, Sandy Rugg Road and Oldham County Planning. So an application has been filed requesting a road frontage variance located at 1900 Liberty Lane in Goshen. The property is zoned AG1, the land use is residential, and it's 10.035 acres. On July 22nd, 2025, the Planning Commission approved a waiver of Oldham County Subdivision Regulations, Section 5.7E, joint access fifth parcel on an access easement. The case history, it was posted on the planning website on September 26th. Adjoining property owners noticed on September 30th, and public notice appeared in Oldham area on October 9th. Here is an aerial of the property. I have more pictures too to come. Here's the zoning, AG1, and surrounded by AG1. So the applicant is planning to split the existing parcel into 2 lots. Lot 1 will be 1 acre, and the residual will be 9.035 acres. The existing lot currently has no public road frontage, but is considered a legal non-conforming. Section 020-020 and 030-020, the Oldham County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance states that required road frontage for property zone AG1 or CO1 less than 2.5 acres is required to have 150 feet of road frontage. The newly proposed lot will have 0 feet of public road frontage, therefore requiring a 150-foot road frontage variance. So here is the parcel, the plat that was showing the new 1 acre taken from the existing 10.035 acres. Okay, so here's an aerial. If you see here, this is Liberty Lane right here, and this is the public road. It ends right here, and this is a private easement here. The new parcel is going to be right in this area right here. So there is no possibility to have public road frontage in this area. And here's a shot looking at the end of Liberty Lane, looking towards where the parcel will be, which is beyond this tree line here. Here's a rendering of what the new home is going to look like, the layout of the new home. And here is the ordinance showing that it's required to have 150 feet for less than 2.5 acres. So in summary, the proposed road frontage variance is they're required to have 150 feet. They are requesting 0 feet and a variance of 150 feet. Potential condition of approval, the variance shall only apply to the application considered at the October 16th, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing. Do you have any questions?
Can you pull up the map again, please?
Yep.
I'm trying, I thought Liberty Lane went down further, but it just stops at the end there.
This one, or you want?
Yeah.
Yeah, it ends right here, and this is a private easement.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay, next, the applicant can come forward and present their case. We need to have you state your name and address and be sworn in.
Good morning. Janet Turpin, 1900 Liberty Lane, Goshen, Kentucky, 40026.
And your other,
Oh,
I'm Jennifer Turpin, her daughter.
Okay.
My current address is 9101 Judge Carden Boulevard, Crestwood, Kentucky.
okay. You can both be sworn in at the same
Okay.
time.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, just tell us about your project.
well, she was wanting to build a house, and we were wanting to put right next to our house on this. And when we built our house, well, we owned the whole 13 acres, and then we sold little over 3 acres back in 07 and 06 or 07. And at that time, Liberty Lane curved on where the private road is now. And so there's no road variance at all. So that's what we are requesting, is a variance for her to build her house.
So help me, I'm sorry, so Liberty Lane comes down from the top, and then there's that circle right there.
That's our original house.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the circle is third driveway.
And then, as we go off to the right, is
Yeah,
that
if you're facing the house, our house goes, the house we're residing in now is to the left of that one. If you're facing
why
the
don't
house.
you can use
Oh,
the mouse.
Okay.
Oh.
There should be a pointer somewhere on there when it comes up, I think, doesn't it?
oh, is it touchy?
There you
There
go,
it is.
yes.
Once you use that.
Yes, if you could just kind of point out everything.
Okay, so Liberty Lane ends here.
Okay.
This is their previous house with a circular driveway, so that's
All
just a
right.
private residence.
Uh-huh,
So this would come off over here. This is their current driveway and their current house. And then I'd have a drive right here, and my house would be sitting about here.
so that private driveway also serves the property that's further down?
Yes, down here.
Yes,
Yes, they own all of this property.
that's a
and then-
neighbor.
It's a neighbor, yes.
And you just share the driveway there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it. All right, thank you. Okay,
Good.
I understand now, thank you.
Anything else?
You remember when we were before the
Yes.
planning commission, and there was a question about your justification, and we talked a little bit about why you all are doing this and what your justification for it is, and the younger Ms. Turpin, I think, explained a little bit in more detail so we can understand the justification for needing to do this.
Yeah. So I want to live by my mom and dad, and they have the land to give me. But they don't look up in age, but they are getting there. So I'd like to be able to be next to them to take care of them when they need it. So that's pretty much it.
Okay. Good enough. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you all.
So next, there's testimony from anyone speaking in favor of the applicant. Testimony from anyone opposing the applicant. And then there's more time for you to do a closing statement or talk anymore, but do you have anything else to say? Okay. We ready to close the floor for discussion?
One question. Is there currently a shared road maintenance agreement in place?
Is there what?
A shared road maintenance agreement with those using the driveway?
I don't,
Sorry.
not that we've, I guess, talked with any of the neighbors about. The only one going that way is Ben Mackey.
Okay.
I mean, we could talk to him if we needed it, but I didn't know if we needed that.
Would you be okay with that being a potential condition of approval for this?
Okay with the, yeah,
Okay.
yes.
So I guess my question up to this point, when there's been repair work that needs to be done on that roadway, who's been responsible for taking care of it?
Up until they split that off from a public road to a private, it was county, but our part of the road,
There's been no maintenance needed?
No, I mean, I guess if anything, if it ever just crumbled, I guess it would be our responsibility and
us
Ben's,
and the neighbors.
our neighbors.
Okay.
We're the
But-
only
but
two
there's-
that
but there-
share
But there's
that
no
private.
formal written agreement
Oh,
about
no.
how that's done?
No,
Is that a gravel road or asphalt?
no, it's asphalt.
It is asphalt.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you for the consideration.
Can he step up and speak?
Yeah, we'll need his name, address, and sworn in, so go ahead, your name and address and,
Irv Turpin, 1900 Liberty Lane, Goshen, Kentucky.
Raise your
I'm
right
the-
hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
I just talked to Ben in the past week, and he doesn't this is his business property, hunting property. So he lives in a subdivision in 42, but we talked for a good while about him not opposing it, and he said you should be able to do what you want to do with your land, but I've got the original plat. I forgot, we didn't bring it the last time. And it shows that Liberty Lane, that used to be Liberty Lane. And then when we sold off 3 acres in the original house and built a new house, at the time the county engineer made a decision to cut to stop Liberty Lane in front of that old house. And we really don't have, we've got a letter on it, but it doesn't really explain the reasoning. But on the original plat that I keep, that used to be Liberty Lane, and it went on down the lane where the trees are. Let's see, right here. So that basically turns and goes into his farm property. And then Liberty Lane went on down to this end and stopped.
Oh, there's more road there, under the trees.
Yeah, it's under those trees, but it's now gravel, but like I say, the original plat shows this as Liberty Lane, and when we first lived in this property, when we first bought it, they would maintain that all the way back to basically where it turned into gravel right under that tree. And then when we chose to build, I'm assuming we had the same variance at that time, even though they stopped Liberty Lane at the end, in front of the old house there, right here. So I don't know if y'all need to look at this old plat, or would that help? Or
I don't. Does anyone?
No. Okay.
No, thank you, but thanks for asking.
All right.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else that needs to testify? Brian?
Ryan Fisher, Director, Oldham County Planning. So you all asked about the shared maintenance and access agreement. We encourage those when people come in for variances of this nature, because even though right now they're family and they're going to be living on the same property, we always try to tell people one day that might not be the case. And so we need to get that shared maintenance agreement in place when we do the plat, because those will both be conditions of approval on this. They'll have to come in with the plat to actually create the lot, but then they'll also need that shared maintenance and access agreement between themselves as well as the neighbor down the road, just on if a tree falls on the road or it needs to be filled, whose responsibility is that? Because if not, then it gets into a legal situation of, well, this isn't my job to fix, and if there's no written agreement in place. So that's why we'll write those in there. So I just wanted to elaborate on that a little bit.
So I have a question. Would that apply also to the part of the road underneath those trees? I don't know, how do we define what we need?
I mean, I think that all goes back to his property, though. Isn't that correct?
The private road in front of our house.
Yeah.
It curves around, but at one point, it's gravel, or really mostly grass now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Mr. Baxter knows more about that. I know he's done a fair share of these in his career, but
I just don't know how we put the boundaries on the shared road maintenance agreement.
well, I mean, I don't think you all need to worry about that. Just
Okay.
to know that the condition of approval is they have to get a shared maintenance and access agreement when they file the minor plat. So
Now, would that shared maintenance agreement be just between the two of them for the part that they share, or can it include the third party that owns the property at the end?
it would probably need to include that third party as well, especially since there's not anything in writing now on that.
And I've done them before where the third party signs off on the maintenance agreement and is responsible for zero. So it's not like it'll be an impediment. If Mr. Mackey's indicated that he doesn't have a problem with it, then when they come to him and say, okay, we want you to pay a third, he might say, well, I have a problem with that. And so they may have to have a shared maintenance agreement that says between the owner of parcel A and the owner of parcel B, they're responsible for the maintenance,
Up to a certain number of feet, and then
to
he
his
takes
driveway
over?
or whatever, and that the owner of parcel C is not responsible for anything. I mean, it can be done. I've
Okay.
done it before.
Helpful, thank you. Okay, is there any other testimony from anybody, opposition, support? Okay, close the floor for discussion, and we'll have discussion among the board.
I guess I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
You're fine with it? Okay. Okay, well, I think we're ready for a motion then?
I move it, we accept the approval of variance for the lot, Oldham County docket number 025, OC 25037. The design innovation of this case, which are the fact that the application's justification statement, that they want to create another housing for their relatives, will achieve the basic objectives and regulations of the county, and also an impairment of the desired general development of the neighborhood and community has not been proposed by the comprehensive plan. The potential conditions, the variance shall apply only to the plan reviewed by October 16, 2025, Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing. The minor plat application and survey must be submitted to staff for review and approval prior to the issuance of any building permits. A shared road maintenance agreement shall be prepared and agreed upon by all parties affected by and recorded by the minor plat.
Okay,
Second.
We have an adequate motion, Mr. Chairman.
thank you. Okay, motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, it's unanimous. You're approved. Next one is, jeez. Where'd my agenda go? What's the next one? Oh, that's my agenda. OC 25-43. We should have Mark, the secretary should read the case.
An application has been filed requesting a street side yard setback variance for property located at 2700 block of South Highway 393 in Buckner.
Okay, so an application has been filed requesting a street side yard setback variance for property located at the 2700 block of South Highway 393 in Buckner. The property is zoned IPD Industrial Park District, and the land use is undeveloped. It's 1.89 acres. There is no site history. The case was posted to the website September 26th. Adjoining property owners were noticed on September 29th, and public notice appeared in the Oldham Era on October 9th. Here is an aerial of the property. Here is the zoning. You see there's quite a variety of zoning around it.
What are those? Can you go back?
Yeah, you have I2, C3, PUD, CO1, and then this is IPD right here.
So I'm just trying to get my bearings about where this is. Is that red section, is that Tri-County Ford? Am I even thinking of the right area?
I'm not super familiar
Okay,
with the area, but
Okay. So it's not a real up-to-date picture.
Do you have
No.
another map? Do you have a map that,
I have more pictures.
okay.
And I did put, put the larger drawing on the table for you there too, so you might be able to take a look at that. Okay, the applicant is requesting a street side yard variance for the ATM drive-through at the proposed Crestwood Chase Bank relocation. According to section 210-020 of the Oldham County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance, the minimum street side yard setback when adjacent to arterial roadways is 50 feet. Due to an access agreement with the neighboring trailer storage facility to the north, the structure needs to be located to the east side of the property. As a result, the drive-through ATM proposed will be located inside the setback. So here is the plan of the entire property, and then here is a close-up of where the drive-through ATM will be. And I put the larger plat up there for you guys too. And then here you see this is where it's supposed to be a 50-foot setback, and it encroaches 25 feet, the drive-through. Here's a picture from 393 looking towards Commerce Parkway, and this is where the actual drive-through area will be. And the elevation is lower than the street, which will also provide some screening. And then view from Commerce Parkway going towards 393 is up here. So in summary, an application has been filed requesting a street side yard setback variance for property located at the 2700 block of South Highway 393 in Buckner. The required street side yard setback is 50 feet. The requested street side yard setback is 25 feet with the variance request of 25 feet. And here is the ordinance showing the 50 feet is required. Potential condition of approval, the variance shall only apply to the application considered at the October 16, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. What is the side yard setback for a commercial? If it was zoned commercial, what would
If it was zoned commercial, I don't have that handy. Can you look that up?
Usually in our commercial zonings, there's no setbacks at all unless it abuts a residentially zoned district, so.
Okay. The use for this, let me make sure, is more of a commercial type of application. Is that correct?
It's a bank, so in the setback is for the drive-through portion of the bank,
Right.
not the actual bank itself.
So it's on an industrial zoned kind of piece of land.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Do you know if future construction on 393 will shift where the road is currently in relation to the project?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, testimony from the applicant.
Tanner Nichols, 400 West Market, Louisville, Kentucky, 40202. I have Madison and Faith who may have to testify and
Why don't
speak,
you all-
so if you want to do those
I'll
together.
come up and get
for
sworn in
efficiency.
together. Sure.
And just for the record, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Nichols is he's an attorney, so just.
Oh. Okay.
Say your name.
I'm Faith Constance from Chase Bank, 1111 Polaris Parkway, Columbus, Ohio.
I'm Madison Tucker from Bayer Becker, 1404 Race Street, Cincinnati, Ohio.
What is Barrett Becker?
It is a civil engineering firm, so I'm the civil designer on this.
Got it, okay. So we need to have you all, the non-attorneys sworn in.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll go back, and I think there was a question about location, and I drove by there this morning just to give, so this is the McDonald's
Okay,
here, right? And I think on this side's the Starbucks,
okay,
the new Kroger,
okay.
I think Wawa maybe is going here, and then Tri-County Ford.
Ford is
So-
there.
Okay, and so obviously we're here,
That's helpful. Thank you.
that helps us.
Yeah.
And so one of the reasons that we've had to push the bank kind of forward to 393 is because there's an easement going through here to allow access to this trailer storage back here, and because we have to line up with the entrance to the Wawa. So those entrances have to be that's good land planning to have those entrances across from one another. So that forced the bank location to be pushed up. And I will say, it was Sandy that said, the elevation change does make a difference here too. So when you're coming down 393, there's a pretty drastic elevation change. And so when you pull through that drive-through and the traffic that's coming down 393 to make a right turn on, I think it's Commerce Parkway, they're going to be above that traffic. And so there's not going to be any interference with the right turn there. So we're here to answer questions that you all may have, but we think this is justified based upon the bank wanting to have their standard prototype, and because of the specific site requirements for this location. Thank you.
Okay.
So I'll start off with a question. Between the drive that goes behind the back of the bank and 393, is there any planned hardscaping or vegetation to prevent illumination of oncoming drivers from headlights?
Yeah, well, I actually don't think, because of the elevation change, I don't think that would be a problem. But yeah, we'll have to abide by all the landscaping requirements.
We have in-house landscape design at our office, and so I've been working with our landscape architecture team to provide the required screening and everything along that frontage. There's going to be some like planted trees and different shrubbery through that area that'll also add some additional protection from any lights coming off of cars.
Okay, awesome.
Would the neighbor be a possibility of moving the easement back a ways?
I think your question was, there's a possibility of moving it back?
The easement, yes.
Well, that would change their whole design plan. So I can't, I mean, I guess I could say, yeah, if it's required, but the bank doesn't want to have to push it back based upon, they'd have to change their design.
Is there an easement there now, or is it just on the paper?
I'm sorry, you're talking about the through easement to the.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's a recorded easement. They have a legal right through that process to get back there.
But couldn't it be moved back 15 foot, 30 foot?
I guess if we negotiated with them that we could, but then we would also, but we still have to keep the same curb cuts because of the Wawa entrance. And so that.
At the technical review committee meeting with the planning commission, Wawa originally, both of these entrance drives were a little bit further to the east of the properties, but Wawa realigned theirs to be further east. And one of the conditions at the technical review committee to have a better approval process was to move it to align with the Wawa entrance drive. So we've had to shift everything to the east of the property, which essentially shifted our entire site to the east as well.
I don't mean to get in the business of testifying, but I am gonna say something about the easement. If you look where 393 is now, that's realigned, and 393 actually used to be where the easement, the quote-unquote easement is. That was the road that ran up through there. And when they moved it to the east in order to accommodate going underneath the train tracks, which has been supposedly going to happen for a long time. Then they created this quote-unquote easement because that was the only way to access these properties.
Yeah, I did a turnaround this morning up in this area, and they both have dead ends, and that was kind of strange. But I guess you're saying that there was one time 393 came down through here.
That was the road, yeah. It ran right down through the middle of that. So then they moved it east when to be able to accommodate going underneath the train tracks.
I still have a problem with why that 30-foot easement in the back of the lot can't be moved farther back in the lot.
Well, first of all, we can't force obviously we couldn't, we could negotiate with them, possibly.
This would be the trailer court, or trailer lot, the lot to the north.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that, and others say, is it legally possible to move an easement? Yes, it is. They may not want to because they are like long trailers, and so quick turns may not be appropriate for them to be able to pull out of there. So if we moved it back here and they had to, it would kind of snake through that west part of the property.
You're saying that easement is being used right now then? It's a viable road?
I assume it is. I mean, there's, like when I went out there today, there were trucks and trailers in this lot in the purple.
But they're accessed from 393.
I'm sorry, what?
The trailer lot is accessed from 393.
It's actually, I think this is Commerce Road.
I'll disagree, but.
Okay, I'm going to step in real fast. So I don't understand the question of why we would want to move that back, because then that takes away the alignment from Wawa, which we encourage when we do planning with developments to ensure that we have cross sections going across as opposed to offset intersections, which then cause more accidents and more difficulty. So moving the easement only makes things more difficult for everybody, including the Wawa development. It changes everything in that area to change an easement. They're asking for the variance for this because they've got that undue hardship of having the easement, having to align with what the Wawa is, and so that's why they're asking for this variance for their property. So I think we're making this much more difficult than it needs to be, and thinking way outside of kind of the scope of what we're doing here. So,
It sounds like there are no safety sightline issues in terms of traffic and that type of thing. Is that a fair statement?
I mean, I don't believe so. I think with the topography, yeah. I'll let you know.
We can testify to that, yes, our engineers, that there are no sightline issues because of the elevation.
Right.
And so.
Okay.
Do we need a road maintenance agreement between commercial properties? Sorry, that's a question for...
We will have one as a condition of closing, yeah, with us and the neighbor.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone testifying in favor, additional people testing in favor of the applicant? Anyone testifying as opposition to the applicant? Okay, do you need any closing statements or anything? Okay, closing the floor and opening for board discussion.
Yeah, I think with the combination of the topology of the site, the shape of the lot, and the existing access agreements, I'm in favor of approving this variance.
From a safety perspective, I think it optimizes safety issues, and it is essentially a commercial, even though it's zoned industrial, it's essentially a commercial application, and the type of use is having 25 feet with that type of a application there. I think it is appropriate, so I'm okay with it too.
I am as well. I think with the widening that they've done on 393, there's adequate laneage there that they will not need to widen that further to encroach on that property, so I'm fine with it.
Any other discussion?
I'll vote no. I still can't see why we can't move the easement back, but that's just me, so.
Okay. Good. We're ready for a motion?
Motion to approve OC 25-043, a variance for a side yard setback variance request of 25 feet because it will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity, will not cause a hazard or nuisance to the public, and will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements in the zoning regulation because of the unique site conditions, including the size and shape of the lot, and the existing access agreements that will optimize for safety in the community, as presented in today's hearing in testimony. As far as conditions of approval, this side yard setback variance shall only apply to the application considered at our October 16th, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing, and that a minor plat application survey will be submitted to staff for review and approval prior to the issuance of any building permits, and that a shared road maintenance agreement will be part of that minor plat application.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay?
Okay, motion carries. You're approved. Thank you. Okay, next is OC 25-44. Mr. Secretary, if you could read the case.
Oldham County Docket 025-044, an application has been filed requesting a variance of Division 335 Solar Energy System Regulations, side yard setback variance on property located at 2901 North Buckeye Lane, Goshen.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. John Hine, Planner 1, Oldham County Planning and Development. So an application has been filed requesting a variance of Division 335 Solar Energy Systems for a side yard setback variance on property located at 2901 North Buckeye Lane in Goshen. The zoning is CO1 Conservation District. The land use is residential, and the acreage is 5.01 acres, excuse me. For our site history, in 2002, a minor plat was approved to create a separate residential parcel within the family farm trust lot. The agenda was posted to the planning website on the 26th of September. Adjoining property owner notices were mailed on the 1st of October, and public notice appeared in the Oldham Era on the 9th of October. Here we have the lot in question. This is one of the residential lots that's been created within this larger family farm trust that accesses off of North Buckeye Lane. Here's the river here for reference. Here we have the zoning of CO1 with large portion of the rest of the farm in AG1.
Can you go back? I'm still...
Unfortunately, this lot is so large that it was hard to get the road itself in purview while showing the whole lot.
So Buckeye Lane is where?
It's down here. This is their private drive accessing here. Buckeye Lane is all the way down here.
Down there.
Yeah.
And the river?
River right here.
There.
So does the property, the property in the trust goes all the way to the river?
Yes, correct. From Buckeye Lane all the way to the river.
And there's a marina down there somewhere, right? Where's that?
I believe it's...
Buckeye? It's over there?
I believe it's over here farther, yes.
Okay.
Buckeye Lane continues traveling this way and then turns towards the river. This road cuts off it and heads straight down. This driveway, excuse me, cuts off of it and heads straight down.
Okay.
The applicant is requesting a variance of Division 335 Solar Energy Systems, a side yard setback variance for a single-family residence. The applicant proposes building a small scale, which is deemed as less than 2,500 square feet, ground-mounted solar energy system. The proposed SES is approximately 930 square feet. According to Section 335-55, Number 7, the required setback for residential ground-mounted solar energy systems on properties size 3 acres or greater is 100 feet from the side or rear property line. The applicant is requesting a 43-foot, 11-inch setback from the property line.
Can you go back to the map again? I'm trying to... So where is the 43 feet then?
I will have a site plan coming down the line that'll show that a little better for the property itself. The applicant is therefore requesting a 56-foot, 1-inch side yard setback. The applicant has submitted a shade report that I gave to you earlier as testimony that this location on the property is the best available for a ground-mounted solar energy system, and I'll allow them to speak to that more. The application appears to conform with the remainder of the Division 335 solar energy system regulations. Here we have a layout of the plot, the residential plot itself, showing the driveway entrance here, the house here, and then the proposed ground-mounted system over here. This is with aerial photography, a rendering from the house to the proposed system.
And so the 43 feet is to the left of that? Is that
correct, to the property line to the left up here.
And then the road, the lot on the other side of that, is that a road or is that just an adjacent property?
It's all the family trust. So there's this lot and another residential lot on that same property, but in between there and all around it are all the same family's trust, which they have representation to speak to about.
Okay, got it.
Just another site plan where, again, this is something like 78 some feet from the property line here, and then 43 feet from the property line over here.
And that house is already there?
Yes. And this was the shade report that I included, and I will allow them to testify to what these numbers more significantly mean. This is the entrance of the family trust property off of North Buckeye. It takes off down here and then I believe drops down towards the river just outside of this back tree line here while Buckeye continues on. Here are the ordinances that we're discussing today for the 100-foot required setback for the 3 acres or larger property. And in summary, the required side yard setback would be 100 feet. The requested side yard setback is 43 feet, 11 inches, and the variance requested would therefore be 56 feet, 1 inch. Our potential conditions of approval would be the standard: the variance shall only apply to the application considered at today's October 16th, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing.
So I have a question. So the name of the applicant is Pure Light Power. Is that right?
Yes, I believe the power company submitted the application. I'm not sure if the power company or the applicant is here to testify, or the property owner.
It says the applicant is Pure Light Power. Do they own the land then?
No, the land is owned by the family trust, or the one of the family members within the trust.
Does that legally work, that a non-land owner can be the applicant?
We'll have to see. I mean, who's here today about this?
Charles Paradis. I represent the actual resident and the property owner. This is the resident, my father.
Yeah, and I'm the trustee of the trust that owns both the residential property and the LLC that owns the surrounding property. Joseph Paradis, and my address is 150 Moorings Park Drive, Naples, Florida.
My name's Ashley Carlin. My address is 2470 Fleetwood Avenue, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45211. And I'm the permit coordinator at Pure Light Power.
So just so we're clear, I mean, the permit is going to get issued to the trust, correct? I'm looking at...
That's what we would like.
Okay, so the trust has a representative here, and they have counsel here, so I think we're fine to go forward. We just need to be clear that the permit's not being issued to the actual applicant. I think the applicant filed this on behalf of them because they understand the science, I guess, for lack of a better term, but I think that the permit's going to get issued in the name of the trust. So we're fine to go forward.
We are. Okay, thank you. So then the non-attorneys need to be sworn in.
I'm an attorney, but
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
So just tell us about the project.
Sure. So a couple years ago, the property owner decided to invest in a solar system to provide solar electrical energy to the property. As you can see from the rendering of the house, there's a lot of different slopes on the house, many different pitches, and many of them are quite steep. Because of that, it was necessary to use a ground system instead of a traditional rooftop system. And then based on the map of the sunshine, a shade map, the location was chosen that was the most amount of sun. And so that's why Pure Light has directed that to be the placement of the solar ground system. This picture that you looked at, this is about a mile from the actual house. Are there any questions?
So just curious that, so the red obviously gets more sunlight. Is that because of undulation, or why is it that there's more sun there?
Mostly tree cover, I believe. Ashley can speak to that.
Okay.
It's due to the tree covering and everything.
I see. Okay. So you're not cutting down any trees to do this?
No.
It's just... Got it.
Do you know the approximate distance to non-LLC or trust-owned property?
So as we said, this is actually very zoomed out.
Yeah.
So to give an idea of scale from the red square, which is what we're talking about, the closest non-LLC property would be that smaller yellow square. That's where my uncle lives. He has a ownership interest in that spot. I would estimate that as about a quarter of a mile, maybe 0.2 of a mile across all of this land, basically from this tree line all the way down. This is a tree nursery. So there's trees here, baby trees here, all over here, all over here. And then this is a very steep bluff that goes down to a river bottom down here. So I would say it's about a quarter of a mile from this property to here.
Just to summarize, that the hardship would be you can't effectively do it if it's a roof-mounted system. And so the hardship would be doing that would make it either not feasible or not efficient, and therefore doing it at the ground system is what makes it efficient and worthwhile to do.
Perfectly said. Due to the slope of the roof, due to the shade cover, it would not be efficient, would not be of the size necessary to do a rooftop mounted. That's the hardship. And that's why we're requesting the variance.
Okay. Any other questions from board members?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody here who wants to speak in favor of the applicant? Anyone here who wants to oppose the applicant? Do you have any closing comments? Okay. Closing the floor for discussion, opening up for board discussion. Board members?
Okay.
No, my concern was the trustee and how they would feel about it, but since
Right.
he was represented here and had spoke his piece, I'm fine.
So my only concern is that we get the name of the applicant right. And I guess we can append or amend or whatever the name on the application to be the trust.
J.A. Parakis Family Dynasty Trust, I believe.
Say again?
J.A. Parakis Family Dynasty Trust.
Right. So, but on the paperwork here, it
Yeah.
shows that the applicant is Pure Light Power.
Right.
Just so we make sure we get it correctly in the record.
So it should be J.A. Paradis Family
Paradis, I'm
Dynasty
sorry.
Trust. No, it's totally fine.
Okay, so we will amend the application to have that name.
Thank you.
And so, okay. And then my only thought is, this is obviously a very beautiful property, and presumably they would not do anything to impair the natural beauty of the property, and it's very nice. So those are my thoughts. Any other comments? Ready for motion?
Sure. Motion to approve OC 25-044, a variance of a side yard setback variance of 56 feet and 1 inch, because it will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, will not alter the essential character of general vicinity, will not cause a hazard or nuisance to the public, and not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of our zoning regulations, because of the unique land ownership conditions and unique conditions of the solar panel placement and efficiency surrounding that, as presented in testimony during today's hearing. As far as conditions of approval, this variance will only apply to the application considered at the October 16th, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing, and that all necessary permits for the installation will be received.
Okay, thank you. Dave.
Second.
Second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous, you're approved. Next case is OC 25-45. Mr. Secretary.
An application has been filed requesting a conditional use permit for a swimming pool, tennis court, similar enterprises, indoor basketball training facility, and a maximum square footage variance for property located at 1112 Avondale Way in Goshen.
Thank you.
Okay, as a proposal, again, the application has been filed requesting a conditional use permit for a half basketball court under the permitted conditional use swimming pools, tennis courts, and similar enterprise in R2 zones, and a maximum square footage variance for property located at 112 Avondale Way in Goshen. The property is zoned R-2, and the land use is residential. It's 0.36 acres. There's no site history. It was posted to the website on September 26th. Adjoining property owner notices were mailed on September 29th, and it appeared in the Oldham Era on October 9th. Here is an aerial of the property. Here is the zoning. It's R2 and surrounded by R2. The applicant is proposing a 1,428 square foot detached half basketball court, which will be used for coaching basketball approximately 3 days per week. The property is zoned R-2 residential. In R-2 zoning, Oldham County Zoning Ordinance Section 060-040 allows for swimming pools, tennis courts, and similar enterprises to be considered as conditional use. The applicant considers the proposal as similar enterprises. The applicant is also requesting a maximum square footage variance for the accessory structure. According to Section 250-030, accessory structures on parcels less than 20,000 square feet shall have a total maximum floor area of 800 square feet. The proposed structure is 1,428 square feet, and it is over the limit by 628 square feet. The proposed accessory structure appears to meet the remaining standards of Sections 250-030, accessory uses and structures. So it's really hard to see here, but this is the back of the property. Here's the front, and you can see where the lines are drawn right here to where the structure will be going. And here's a picture from the front of the home, and the basketball court will be going in the back here, about the area where the arrow is. I received one letter, and it was in support. This is the property in question, and this is the neighbor that the letter came from. In summary, the applicant is proposing to construct a 1,428 square foot half basketball court in R2 zoning. Oldham County Zoning Ordinance Section 060-040 states swimming pools, tennis courts, and similar enterprises are considered as a conditional use in R2 zone, and a maximum square footage variance under Section 250-030. Here is the ordinance for the conditional use permit, highlighting that swimming pools, tennis courts, and similar enterprises are conditional use in R2. A potential condition of approval for the conditional use permit is a conditional approval shall only applied to the application considered at the October 16th, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing. In summary, for the maximum square foot variance, maximum square foot allowed is 800 square feet. The requested square footage is 1,428 square feet. So the request is for a maximum square foot variance of 628 square feet. Here is the ordinance highlighting where parcels less than 20,000 square feet are allowed an accessory structure of 800 square feet. And just a standard conditional approval for the variance as well, that it only applies to the application being considered at today's hearing.
Quick question. So I heard the word structure a lot, but this is really an outdoor basketball court. There's not going to be any walls or...
It will be enclosed. Okay. No, it's going to be an enclosed basketball court, yes.
Okay.
Are there restrictions on the area for sanitation and changing areas?
No. I'm going to let the applicant speak to the details of what the structure is going to entail.
So although we do not get into homeowners association issues, is this in a homeowners association area?
I'll let him speak to that when he...
Okay, thank you.
I'm just going to add something real quick. So keep in mind with conditional use permits, and Sandy mentioned the one potential condition of approval that only applies to the plans today. But keep in mind with a conditional use permit such as this nature, if you choose to pass this, what you can do is limit. He's already stated 3 days per week. You can put that as a condition of approval, that it shall only be no more than 3 days per week. You can limit the number of potential people that could be there. We've done that with home occupations before of like workout studios, that you can't have more than 5 kids at a time or whatever that might be. You can talk about parking with that parking can't become an issue in the property. You can put times that no lessons can occur after a certain time period. So there are more parameters that you can put on that conditional use permit, because once again, this isn't a allowable use within that zoning. This is a conditional use, meaning you all can put as many conditions on there as you choose, and the applicant then has to say, okay, I'm going to abide by those, because then at the end of the day, if this gets approved and he starts having 20 kids show up, and parking becomes an issue, and the HOA calls and the neighbors call and say this is becoming a problem, we go back to the conditions of approval, and those are spelled out. So just keep that in mind when thinking about this case, and when the applicant comes up to provide testimony, other potential conditions of approval that can be added on here. So
What about other uses like non-basketball, like a wedding reception or a derby party or whatever? I mean, other party venue.
Well, I mean, I think that falls outside of the scope of this type of conditional use, meaning it's the similar enterprises to I can't remember the wording of it, but, that falls within event spaces. So that would probably be a violation of that anyways, but you could put that in there as well. No other uses outside of basketball training shall occur, if that's the only thing he's going to do. But once again, just keep that in mind as the applicant gives his presentation on things that you may either have questions about or want to maybe put as a potential condition of approval if you choose so.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, thank you. Good presentation. The applicant can come forward. Need your name and address and be sworn in.
Good morning. Kilo Gonzalez from 1112 on the way.
Raise your right hand.
Oh, sorry.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. The plan, to answer some of the questions that, on the condition that he was talking about, these are things that obviously were considered prior to even starting this project. The main thing is, I believe parking will be one of the main issues that may raise. Therefore, I'm already doing basketball training, and I work with groups of 2 to 4 of older kids, which is also why the size high school kids need, at minimum, that's not even a half-court measures, but at minimum that, so they can get the 3-point, basketball details. And then a maximum of 6 with younger kids, elementary school kids, so they can play 3-on-3 on the sides of the court. The parking can be on this side of the picture. It's going to be a garage door eventually.
You can use the computer mouse to show that there's an arrow.
So here, what you're going to see is a garage door here that is going to the back of the driveway. As you guys can see, the garage here. Our garage doors are back here. And then there's going to be another one here, if necessary, if there is more than the 4 cars that we can hold on the driveway. We're going to allow them to come back here. If necessary, that's the back of the house. But that's if, any extreme situations. For the most part, the goal is to have a couple hours a day, those 3 days a week, of after school basketball training for kids from elementary school all the way to high school. I've also communicated this with the neighbors. They seem to be okay with it. I don't know what other questions you guys may have.
Well, so, normal, as you know, basketball is 5-on-5, right? With probably a substitute or two and a coach or two. So, I mean, the temptation is going to be to have, 12 to 15 people there. And then if it's kids, their parents are going to want to be there. I'm not quite sure what we need to do in terms of limits to how many people can be there, because we're going to want to impose something that'll be binding for you. And so talk about what you're comfortable with in terms of the maximum number of people that can be there.
But before you do, I think it would actually be easier to go the route of, the real problem and concern we would have is the number of vehicles that are parked there. Right. And I think that would be an easier thing to, for code enforcement to go and see, okay, look, there's, 10 vehicles, they're only allowed 6, as opposed to trying to keep track of individuals.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so I think going the route of having some type of maximum number of vehicles parked for this use case may be a better option.
Okay, well, talk us through number of people, number of cars,
Of
vehicles.
course. So right now, I'm still, like I said, I'm training currently. I'm at Mercy Academy High School. And obviously, I have a full court, but I still, for training purposes, I don't like to get too many numbers just because, like you said, temptation or whatnot. Because it's not tournaments, we're working on development. And it's usually either one-on-one or a small group so they can get the most amount of reps and whatnot. With that, obviously, the amount of vehicles will be limited. But that can, of course, be something that can be posted, like you proposed on we have a website and everything. And that's something that can be communicated with parents and posted.
Another thing, basketball is not a very quiet sport. Are you considering any daylight hours? What times you consider being open?
Yeah, so I was thinking if I do a couple of days during the week, it'll be after school, so 4 to 6, 7 max. Also, I'm planning to do the installation so people can protect a little bit of because it's impossible, like you said, to play quietly basketball. Just bouncing the ball is loud itself. So yeah, the hours won't be night, and if I do Saturdays, which I do right now, it'll be 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., so it wouldn't be too early or too late.
How tall is the structure going to be?
16.
Okay. And in relation to the house, is that?
It's barely under the house, so
Okay.
you wouldn't be able to see it from the front except for the garage door here.
Okay.
You mentioned, or you do acknowledge that there was a homeowners association. Can you
Yes,
tell me
ma'am.
a little about your interactions with them and what their responses?
Yes, I've actually talked to him, to the homeowners association president, I don't know. And I told him all these plans like I'm telling you guys, and he said it was okay with it as long as obviously I get the permits and whatever else I needed.
They didn't provide you anything in writing to bring to us today? Okay. Do you know, are there any other home businesses in the neighborhood?
Businesses, I don't. I have a couple. Do you have them here? There are a couple structures that are similar to what I want. How can I show them?
Okay.
Escape. Okay, so it would essentially be something.
1 second. It's
I'm
still,
sorry.
it's not showing up on, oh, here it is. Okay.
Yeah. So essentially, this seems to just be a garage structure, but it will be something essentially like this one in the back of the house. I'm not aware of any businesses or anything in the neighborhood, to be honest. But I did see a couple of those extra garage structures in the back of the house as well.
Will yours look something like that?
Yeah, it'll be a little bit taller, but in terms of the sizes, from what I saw, it looks pretty similar.
So you said 16 feet, but it wouldn't, so the entire structure, roof included, won't be taller than your home?
No, because the back of the house, I don't know how to go back, but the back of the house, like I said, the garage is under. So it's like 2 floors, so it wouldn't surpass that height.
Okay.
So the back is longer or taller than the front.
As far as number of vehicles that would be potentially allowed as a potential condition of approval, do you think 5 is adequate for your needs with this project?
I think if needed, we could do even 6 because, like I said, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to get across the basketball court and get to the backyard. But ideally, it will be 4, which is what will fill up the driveway without getting to the street and, you know.
But maximum 6, including your car or plus your car?
No, plus because we have the garage, I will still be able to access both of our cars in our garage.
So you have 2
and then
cars.
I could get,
So your 2 cars and then 6 more
Yes, sir.
from visitors. Okay.
Yeah, that'll be able to, that seal wouldn't get on anybody's sideway or anything, so.
Okay.
So how many kids did you say would be at one time? The maximum?
To be honest, I want to say 6 kids to kind of give me some room, but I normally work with a max of 4 kids. I want to say 6 because younger kids, they can fit in that size, and we can have, training as well. And also, usually, unless they are from the neighborhood, kids are going to be riding with their parents. So then the whole vehicle situation that we just talked about.
Just out of curiosity, is there, in your neighborhood, do people park on the street?
Yeah, actually, not much because the driveways are pretty long for the most part. But you do see parking on the streets. I've seen it, even on our street, I've seen it a couple times.
So in terms of times, I think we're going to have to figure out, because kids will want to be doing clinics in the summertime during the day when they're not in school. And then, after school, of course, they'll be there. But then there's the weekends too. So help us think through training in the summertime. I presume you're going to air condition this. It's going to have to be air conditioned, right?
Eventually, not right away. But.
Training in the summertime when school is out versus weekends where they're not in school, and then after school hours. So maybe help me think that through.
So you mean during the summer or
Yeah,
right now?
well, during the summer and weekends, and just so there's really 3. So there's days when school is out, like during the summer, like this last Monday or whatever, when holidays, if you would, Christmas time, when school is out, okay, and you may be doing training in the middle of the day and during the day, versus just after school, and then there's and then Saturday or Sunday hours
Right.
as well.
So if it is during summer, like you said, kids are out of school, so you will probably be a little bit earlier I think it's easier on the neighbors as well since everybody's probably at work. But during school, like I said, on the weekends, it'll only be Saturdays or just Saturdays. And that'll be in the morning till max 1 p.m.
Okay.
Those days. I don't know if that answered the question.
I think so. We're just going to have to construct something to accommodate all of that.
So what was the end time you said? Did you say 9 p.m. or?
On Saturdays?
Yeah, or any day, yeah.
Well, the thing is that right now on Saturdays it'll be different because obviously kids are not in school. So I do 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay.
on Saturdays. And then during the week, it'll be a max of 7 p.m.
Yeah.
If we have to get to that, but I have 2 kids under 2, so I rarely get to that.
I think our concern is like if neighbors are trying to sleep, and so I think just having a very general 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. operating window.
Okay, I see what, yeah.
Yeah, I think just keeping it very simple.
Well, so if there's an 8 a.m., did you say 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.?
Yeah.
How many classes a day do you think you would do? Because that's a lot of traffic coming in and out of a neighborhood if you're doing classes every hour or 2.
Oh, I'm not
No,
suggesting
I think he's
that
saying within that a lot of time, not like every hour from 8 to 8, right?
Yeah, it's more excluding the other times. That's the purpose of it.
Right, but I mean, in the summer when there's no school, if you put a condition saying 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., how much traffic is that going to provide?
Oh, I'm not saying, we can have a limit on the number of classes you can offer.
Okay.
But as far as when those classes are, I think our primary concern is neighbors complaining that there's people playing basketball while they're trying to sleep.
Too late, yeah.
So are you going to be doing the training yourself, or is there going to be an assistant coach, or?
I do the training.
Just you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And do you have another
That's
job?
That's why I don't like having big groups because
Right.
I don't think I'll do service to those kids that
And do you have another job that you do?
Yeah, I work at that school at Mercy Academy.
You work at a school, okay. So
Yeah.
So I'm sorry if I missed it, but so in the summer, when would you propose during the day? How many classes would you have and when would you start?
I don't think I will have more than, let's do hour, because every session is 1 hour. I don't think I will do more than 4 hours a day. and it can be within those times. You know,
No more than
even not
4
even-
per day?
I'm sorry.
No more than 4 hours per day?
Right.
Okay. I think I've got it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions from board members? From staff, any comments, things we should consider, that we should know about?
I just think if you're going to choose to pass this, I think you need to be very, very, very particular on what the conditions are. Because if we were to say no more than 4 hours per day, then those 4 hours fluctuate. And code enforcement's like, well, I went out there and he did training today from 8 p.m. to midnight, and that complies with 4 hours per day. I think we need to be very specific on hours of day, number of people, that no on-street parking. And I understand he testified that other people park, but this can't become outside of the realm of what you would expect in a residential neighborhood. So anytime we've approved any of these, whether they're approvals like this or they're approvals of a home occupation fashion, you have to make sure that they get specified that it doesn't change their residential character. He testified, he showed one picture of a detached garage. I don't make decisions, but if you all do, I just need you all to be very specific to make it easier on us down the road when or if this becomes an issue. So I'll just say that.
Mr. Chairman, if I could comment, I think maybe sometimes there's a belief that because Sandy stands up and presents something that she's advocating or that staff is advocating for it. Their obligation here is when someone files an application to present the application and to give you all the information about the application. You all are in a position to ask questions of not only of staff, but of the applicant in order to construct something to be that would meet the conditions that Ryan just outlined for you. And I know sometimes it feels like staff is advocating for people, but I think most of the time their obligation is to present you with just the facts. And you all are the finders of fact and are able to ask questions not only of staff but of the applicant in order to make sure that you're comfortable that the application is not going to violate other parts of the regulation. So I think that Ryan was getting there, but I want to make sure that everybody understands that it's sort of like my role here. My role is not, I don't advocate for or against. My role is to give you all advice when asked questions. So
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I think after we close floor for discussion, we'll talk among ourselves in terms of if I was living in that neighborhood, what would I be comfortable with in terms of time and use and all that kind of stuff. So thank you. Any other? So I have to ask, is there, where's my, here we go. Testimony from anyone speaking in favor of the applicant? Testimony from anybody opposing the applicant? And then does the applicant have any final comments or whatever? No? Okay. So I'll close the floor for discussion and open it up for board discussion. So let me pick up on what I was saying before. If I was living in that neighborhood, you know, I think, you know, 5 or 6 cars in the driveway or, you know, 1 or 2 on the street would be okay after school until, as he said, till like 7 o'clock at night on school nights. And during the summer from like 9 in the morning until 7 o'clock at night. But no more than, you know, like, I mean, I don't want you don't want it every single hour. So he said he'd do no more than 4 classes or 4 training sessions a day. So that's 20, if he did 6 cars, that's 24 cars maximum that would be coming in and out during the summer. And after school, he's probably only going to do 1 or 2 training sessions. So you know, in my mind, 24 cars is a bit, assuming he maxes out. You know, from after school until 7 o'clock at night, you know, he's probably going to do 1 or 2. So that's, you know, whatever, 5 cars, 10, it's 12 cars. So I think in the conditions, we need to talk about his 2 cars versus other cars, cars from visitors. And that's it, I guess, in terms of my concerns, if I was a neighbor, to make sure it was okay. Well, I guess the county, you know, from a safety perspective, from, you know, fire marshal, whatever, they will make sure that if there's requirements there, that they will, is that true? I'm asking staff, that if there's any safety issues in terms of the configuration of the building for safety for this type of use, I mean, we don't have to put conditions of approval related to that, do we?
Right. I mean, they would have to get a building permit, and they would
Yeah.
make sure that it's built to code and everything like
Okay.
that. So, no.
All right, thank you.
In the application, it does say 3 days a week, and we probably need to confirm with the applicant that that's what they still want.
I don't know how they're going to enforce that. Yeah, I mean, how do you know?
Right.
It's like, okay, when the code enforcement person shows up, okay, did he have classes on Monday and Tuesday, and today it's Thursday? Did he also have one on Wednesday? So I think we just have to a little bit broad brush it, but and it sounds like he has another job, so he's not going to be. I mean, he's probably not going to want to do this six days a week. You know,
Agreed.
type
Yeah.
thing. You know what I mean? He has a life. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it like different time frames for summertime versus like the school year, would you be okay with just having like a, I don't know, 8 a.m. to like 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. or something like that?
I think 9 to 7
Okay.
would be good.
Okay. And we'll,
year round. And that would accommodate then Christmas break and spring break, and, you know, if he wants to do classes during that time. So we don't have to get specific for different times of the year.
Okay.
So I would be comfortable with that, yes.
And we'll have to confirm with the applicant again.
9 to 7?
Yeah, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Year round? Yeah. Does that work for you? 9 to 7?
Well,
That-
I'm going to throw my 2 cents in here. I'm not in favor of this. I don't think it fits with the residential character of the neighborhood. I think if we start allowing people to open up these types of businesses in neighborhoods, you know, what's going to stop the next person from doing it? You know, how do you allow one and not the next? And then a neighborhood suddenly becomes high traffic and it's not it loses its residential character. So I'm not going to be in favor, no matter what the restrictions are.
Mark, your thoughts?
I think I'd vote for it. He's put in a very good argument about being able to be with the kids. If he keeps his hours, daylight hours only. He mentioned 4 to 6 during the weekend, during school times. But 9 to 7 would be fine.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we have a letter of support somewhere in here. I saw a letter of support from one of the neighbors. Is that right?
Yes.
I just, a personal note, having been a basketball player myself, and the thought of having an indoor air-conditioned facility in the summertime is great. It's tough to play outside here in the summertime. So, and basketball is an important thing for our community.
And I know this is one of Mark's concerns earlier about the noise of playing basketball. Should we propose a condition of approval to have that sound deadening installation?
And I don't know how you measure that, but
well,
we could. It needs, it probably needs to be insulated.
Right, we don't want to just have like a pole barn with no
right.
insulation.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Any other comments, thoughts? All right. We're ready, I think we're ready for a motion with all kinds of conditions of approval.
Okay, I'll
You want to do
start,
that?
Yeah, I'll start with the conditional use permit. Motion to approve OC 25-045, the conditional use permit for swimming pools, tennis courts, or similar enterprise, including this indoor basketball training facility. This conditional use is acceptable because it is essential or desirable to the community and not in conflict with the elements, objectives, and policies of the comprehensive plan. Because granting this conditional use permit will allow the proper integration into the community of a use specifically named in the zoning regulation. The character and objectives of the proposed use and potential impacts of the community and its surrounding areas are appropriate. And the community or neighborhood has a need for the proposed use, and there are potential benefits to the community or neighborhood. As far as conditions of approval, this conditional use permit shall only apply to the application considered at our October 16th, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing. The courses themselves will be limited to the hours of 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. With no more than 4 hours of class per day during that time frame. In addition, we request that the applicant, in addition to getting all permits that are needed, will install sound deadening material before this conditional use is, before actually having classes on the site. And as far as the traffic, we want to limit the number of vehicles for this conditional use to no more than 6 vehicles on the property.
In addition to the applicants too that he owns.
In addition. And I do think that there is on-street parking in the area, and so I think that would still be allowed.
Ryan,
No.
Ryan is commenting.
There is no on-street parking allowed at all in Oldham County. Now, we know people do, and it becomes an issue, then code enforcement gets involved. Now, there's parking in locations such as downtown LaGrange and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as in residential neighborhoods, there is a requirement that there's no on-street parking at all. And at any time, code enforcement or the police can get rid of a vehicle. So we cannot, at this board, say that this allows on-street parking. So, because when that becomes an issue, code enforcement is going to go out there and deal with that. That's why it needs to be in there.
Thank you. Okay, no, thanks for pointing that out.
So it all has to be off-street.
Yeah, then so that, then we'll revise that to say that no vehicles shall be on the street.
Right. Okay.
And do we need to check that with the applicant since it is a change from what they agreed to?
Yes.
Okay.
But Ryan, can you come back up here? I'm not trying to. You and I had a discussion about, is this a home occupation?
It is essentially. I mean, this is his residence, and he's using a building in a supplementary sense. Either way, it's a conditional use permit. Whether he comes in and gets a conditional use permit as a home occupation, the thing about the home occupation is it's generally not allowed for specialty services. And so we get into this debate all the time on what is a specialty service, and it even talks about, singing lessons and things like that being specialty. So either way, I mean, it's a conditional use. Whether or not we bring him in is a conditional use based off of this similar enterprise to a recreation type of use, or a conditional use for a home occupation. I mean, I think he still would have to comply with that section for home occupations, and maybe that's something that we would want to put in as well as a condition of approval if you choose to pass
So
this.
David, you need to put that in.
Yeah. Okay. So that it'll also meet the conditions for home occupations. Is that what?
Yeah. Will you look at that section number 4?
How do we word that?
Yeah.
That's really the question.
What's the section? 260.
260, 230. Yeah, and it's got a whole host of regulations like signage. Really, that's to prevent it from not looking residential in nature. If anybody has a home occupation, the one I can really remember that's very similar to this is Out on 22, there was somebody that came in. I don't know, remember if any of you all were on the board then or not, but she had a workout studio in her garage. She used to own a place in a commercial building. Rent got too high. She wanted to try to move it home, but they limited her on the number of people, the number of days, things of that nature. So this one is pretty similar to that. She got a conditional use permit for a home occupation. So I think maybe we could have gone either way on this, but yeah. So I think if we put that in there, that it just needs to comply with that section as well, that.
260?
230.
Yep, 260-230.
Sorry.
260-230?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll add in that the conditional use shall also require all of the details outlined in section 260-230, which details home occupation requirements.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
Okay, motion carries. You're approved. Just pay attention to all those conditions, because there's a lot of conditions there, okay?
And then we have the second variance. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, just to, I mean, this board has no jurisdiction over your deed restrictions. So that has to do with your homeowners association and your neighbors. So the fact that you have these permits from the county doesn't mean that overrides those deed restrictions. So you have to comply with those as well, okay?
And now I'll make a motion for the second part of this, the variance.
Oh, that's right, there's two.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries. So for OC 25-045, this is a motion to accept the proposed maximum square foot accessory structure variance of 628 square feet. The motion is to approve this because it will, the use is essential and desirable to the community, will not conflict with the elements, objectives, and policies of the comprehensive plan, because the character and objectives of the proposed use and the potential impacts of the community and its surrounding area are appropriate. That a community and neighborhood has a need for this proposed use, and there are potential benefits to the community and neighborhood, as we've seen in the testimony provided today. As far as conditions of approval, the variance will only apply to the application considered at today's hearing, October 16th, 2025, in the Oldham County Board of Adjustments. The applicant shall obtain all of necessary building permits and inspections from the appropriate agencies before occupying the accessory structure. And then I think the other conditions that we talked about aren't applicable to the actual structure itself.
They are not applicable, or should we incorporate them by reference?
I just wouldn't apply. In my motion, I'm not going to apply them.
They're already in the other one, so, okay.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nope.
Okay. Motion carries. So 25-OC 25-46, Mr. Secretary.
An application has been filed requesting a conditional use permit for an owner-occupied short-term rental property located at 14215 Harbor Place in Prospect.
All right. As the Secretary just stated, an application has been filed requesting a conditional use permit for an owner-occupied short-term rental property permit located at 14215 Harbor Place in Prospect. The zoning is R2A residential, land use is residential, the lot size is 0.108 acres. There's no site history for this, no relevant site history for this. The agenda was posted to the planning website on the 26th of September. Adjoining property owner notices were mailed on the 1st of October, and the public notice appeared in the Oldham Era on the 9th of October. Here we have the lot in discussion, and as I'll bring up later on, the applicant is a company, as you can see, an LLC. One of the primary members of it lives at this adjoining property here at 14217, immediately adjacent. Here's the zoning of R2A. I'm not entirely sure why the parking lot is zoned CO1 as opposed to R2A, but the applicant is requesting a conditional use permit for an owner-occupied short-term rental property. Section 250-050, Item A, states an owner-occupied short-term rental is as the owner of record whose primary residence is located on the same lot or immediately adjacent lot of the short-term rental property and includes a person, personal or family trusts, limited liability partnerships, or limited liability companies, all of which must consist solely of persons and not a business entity. The property is to be owned by Riverflow Properties, LLC, which is jointly owned by Mr. Barhorst and Mr. Still. Mr. Barhorst lives at the property immediately adjacent to the proposed STRP at 14217 Harbor Place. Section 250-050, item B1, short-term rental property permitted use and conditional use standards states the following. In zoning district R2A, residential district, an owner-occupied short-term rental property is required to obtain a conditional use permit by the appropriate Board of Adjustments. Here we have that ordinance as included in section 250-050. If granted the CUP, the owner must also comply with the operating requirements and standards as outlined in the STRP regulations, item C, operating requirements and standards. And the applicants have provided adequate documentation of the residency of the immediately adjoining lot as described in section 250-050D12, and that was a photo ID and a vehicle registration. The short-term rental has 3 bedrooms and will have a maximum occupancy of 10 based on section 250-050. 3 times 2 is 6 plus the additional 4 is how our regulations work for those. And the parking that's required will be that 10 divided by 2.5 equals 4 parking spaces. Here we have a photo of the unit in question for the short-term rental. This is the immediately adjacent one owned by the partner, Mr. Barhorst, within the LLC. And then just looking farther down to give a reference of the character of the area. Across the street as well. And then a letter from the HOA, which you'll see is signed by Mr. Barhorst, so I'll allow the applicant's representative to speak that they're able to sign that and speak on behalf of the HOA for that group. Potential conditions of approval for our STRPs are the conditional use permit shall apply only to the application considered at today's October 16th, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing. The applicant shall comply with all regulations concerning short-term rental properties outlined in Oldham County zoning regulations, section 250-050. The conditional use permit shall be automatically revoked upon sale or transfer of the property, and the applicant shall apply for and be issued a short-term rental property permit or license before renting the property out. Any questions?
Can you go back to the short-term rental regulations for me, please, with respect to occupancy? No, the regulations.
The regulations, sorry.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I have that immediate one in here, but is this the part you're talking about?
Okay, can be the same lot or immediately adjacent lot. Okay. So that it does comply with that.
Yes, correct, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right. The applicant, come forward.
Good morning. How are you doing? Valerie Shannon with the Bramall Law Office, here representing the applicant today, Riverflow Properties LLC, related to this particular application for conditional use permit. The project name is the Barge Inn, which seems appropriate for the river. Would you all like to swear in the witness or?
Yes, your name and address and be sworn in, please.
Danny Barhorst. I live at 14217 Harbor Place, the adjacent property, Prospect.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And then if they've got any questions, I'll let you know. So this application is in fact for a short-term rental permit and license to be able to operate essentially a short-term rental unit in Cardinal Harbor. And you all have seen some pictures of Cardinal Harbor. Let's see here. How do I get yours? With this one? Okay, there we go. I didn't want to mess anything up. Cardinal Harbor is a development that sits right down on the Ohio River. You can see from the map in the corner there. It is primarily residential. Over the course of time and in recent years, you've gotten a lot more folks who are coming in and using Cardinal Harbor for long-term rentals instead of being owner-occupied units. And that's one of the things that that really this particular project is trying to kind of address. Rather than being traditional long-term rentals, they're interested in doing kind of a short-term rental with the property owners being adjacent to the property, which is really a nice use of the space. It's such a beautiful area of our county. And at this point, that is the area that the county has identified and spent thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars developing tourism in that area all along the river and on the horse farms and the things that are there. And there really isn't a lot of lodging on that end of the that end of the community. They'd have to either stay in Louisville, in which case we lose their hotel tax dollars, or they come to LaGrange, which that's great for LaGrange, but and they get their hotel tax dollars. But this is a really nice location. It's right next to, or right across the way from Hermitage, which is a huge draw for our county in terms of revenue and in the events that they hold, the restaurant that's there, and the tourists that come in. As far as how this aligns with the Oldham County Comprehensive Plan, the plan does call for compatible development that fits within the existing neighborhood and preserves the community character. In this instance, we aren't really discussing a short-term rental that is the idea of some kind of party palace, which is, of course, sometimes the reputation that they get. In this instance, the owner lives right next door. It is, in fact, owned by the LLC, and the short-term rental requirements do require that the property management company be located within 25 miles, I believe, of the actual short-term rental. So in this instance, that's easily accomplished. They're right there on site. Without the grant of the conditional use permit, this property has, obviously, it could be sold to an individual to continue to live there. However, it also is at risk of being put up for a long-term lease. I don't think it's a large secret within the county that sometimes the long-term leaseholders down there are not, it's not necessarily a desirable situation when you're dealing with homeowners who have been in Cardinal Harbor for years and years and years. It's a beautiful development. I think it's probably one of the first in the county. Because they're going to host smaller groups with shorter stays, the property places less long-term strain on schools in that area. With a 3-bedroom unit, you've got a certain percentage of people that are going to come in as a family to stay in a 3-bedroom unit. You guys don't expect to be having 10, 15 people in this unit. No, I can address that. Okay, exactly. And I'm going to let you do that in just a second. Environmental stewardship is important to this project. This is a very environmentally sensitive area. This property is very well preserved on the banks of the Ohio, and it allows property guests to experience the Ohio River in a respectful and controlled setting, so that it's owner monitored and that the property itself is well maintained, being adjacent to the river bank. This really does give a very unique opportunity to visitors to Oldham County who are coming through with either the farm tours, Oldham County tourism, or just on their own to stay in what we all consider as one of the most beautiful areas of the property. Approving this conditional use permit is consistent with the comprehensive plan in that it utilizes existing structures, enhances desired use residential infill, enhances tourism, helps protect natural resources, and maintains the community character that's there in Cardinal Harbor at this time. And I would say that this board, of course, has the authority to grant a conditional use permit. And the justification for this project is that it does provide a nice infill use of property that could be underutilized with long-term residential leasing without much benefit to the local economy. Whereas the short-term rental in this instance does benefit our local economy, giving our tourists and the tourism development that the county's worked so hard on, giving those folks a place to stay adjacent to all those beautiful horse farms and rolling fields that doesn't break any more ground in that area.
Thank you.
I don't, would you like to speak? I think the applicant would like to address the board if that's okay.
Thank you all. I actually owned the unit we're talking about for about 10 years. I moved out of the area, moved back, and bought the unit that it's adjacent, and now I'm looking to get this one back. The units actually share a 3-slip, or 4 docks, 3 slips. They attached in the back of the houses, townhouses on the river. Townhouses mean you have property along with, not like a condominium, so we own the property out toward the back. So these two properties have adjoining docks together. I'm also the architectural director of the homeowners association. It's my job to monitor these properties and to make sure that everyone keeps their properties up to the deed of restrictions in the neighborhood. We have found that actually some of the rented units sometimes have people in them that don't keep them up, and actually this is an idea of trying to keep the townhouses up and compliant with our deed of restrictions.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there testimony from anybody speaking in favor of the applicant? Testimony from anybody speaking opposing the applicant? Do you have any additional closing comments?
I just would like to thank the board for their attention and for Mr. Barhorst's clarifications about the boat slips, and just add that I think in terms of the comprehensive plan and where the county wants to go in that end of the community with preserving farmland, tourism is a very important part of that, and it's really, really helpful to have places for folks to stay to be able to do that. And I would ask that the court grant the permission, conditional use permit, the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're closing the floor for discussion, and we'll have discussion among the board. Board members, any comments?
I think it's important to have these short-term rentals for the county, especially since we want tourism. And I do think that short-term rentals have a tendency to be better maintained because someone's in there checking it, and you want to maintain that condition to encourage additional rentals.
Well, the important thing is it complies with the regulations with respect to owner-occupied at the property or the adjacent property. And obviously, the applicant is right there, and he's going to take care of it. He's interested as an owner and also as involved in the homeowners association, so I think he has a keen interest in making sure that it's properly maintained and works for the neighborhood. Okay.
Sorry.
Any
No
other
concerns.
comments? We're ready for a motion?
Sure, I'll make the motion. I make the motion to approve the conditional use requested for the owner-occupied short-term rental in OC 25-046 because the proposed use is essential or desirable to the community and not in conflict with the elements, objectives, and policies of the comprehensive plan based on all the following factors: that granting the conditional use permit will allow proper integration into the community if specifically named in the zoning regulation, the character and objectives of the proposed use and potential impacts of the community and its surroundings are appropriate, and the community or neighborhood has a need for the proposed use and there are potential benefits to the community or neighborhood. The conditions of approval would be that this permit shall only apply to the application considered at the October 16th, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing. The applicant shall comply with all regulations concerning short-term rentals that are outlined in the Oldham County zoning regulations, section 250-050. Conditional use permit shall be automatically revoked upon the transfer or sale of the property, and the applicant shall apply for and be issued a short-term rental property permit license before renting the property.
Is there a second?
Second.
I might add that we'd also like to incorporate the testimony that was given today in the application. I thought your attorney did a very good job of presenting the case.
Do you accept that amendment to your motion?
Yes.
Yes.
And second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay. We're down to the last case, OC 25-47. Mr. Secretary.
An application has been filed requesting a conditional use permit, an accessory dwelling unit on property located at 5950 Old LaGrange Road, Crestwood.
The address needs a correction on that. I don't know if that's on the docket or if that was incorrect there. I apologize if so. The address is 6612 Mint Springs Branch Road in Prospect. Okay. An application has been filed requesting a conditional use permit for a detached accessory dwelling unit on property located at 6612 Mint Springs Branch Road in Prospect. The zoning is Ag 1 agricultural on the Oldham County side. Now the property line splits this property, and on the Jefferson County side, it is R4, which is a single-family residential designation within Jefferson County. The land use is currently undeveloped. The size is 10.207 acres on our side, and then 5.191 acres on the Jefferson County side. For our site history, in September of 2024, a new single-family residential building permit was issued by the Oldham County Building Inspections for a 3,687 square foot home with 2,727 square feet of finished space. On September 27th of 2025, a stop work order was issued as the applicant is now requesting the home be approved as a detached accessory dwelling unit for an 11,020 square foot home to be built on the Jefferson County side of the property as the primary structure. The case was posted at the website on the 26th of September. Adjoining property notices were mailed on the 1st of October, and public notice appeared in the Oldham Era on the 9th of October. Here we have the lot in discussion today. Here's the county line right here in blue. So this back portion is where the now proposed ADU is going to be, is under construction or was under construction until the stop work order went through. And then the front part here is where the applicant proposes building the primary structure at this point.
Can you, I'm still confused about where is Oldham County and where is Jefferson County?
Oldham County is on this side.
Oldham
Jefferson County is here. Mint Springs Branch Road is actually fully within the jurisdiction of Jefferson County. Blue line here, excuse me, yeah.
So that you access the property from Mint Springs Road, which is in Jefferson County.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Okay.
Wait a minute, show me again where Mint Springs Road is. Is it the blue line or is it that yellow line?
It's running, it's kind of hidden by the parcel line right here, but it's running, you can see the driveways stubbing off of it. It's running right along this yellow parcel line.
And then the river is, or I'm sorry, yeah, Harrods Creek is further to the left then?
I believe so. I believe it's over here somewhere within this property over here.
And so now, what are they wanting to do again?
So they began construction of a home over on the Oldham County side.
Oldham County side.
They now want to designate that home as an accessory dwelling unit, a detached accessory dwelling unit, as they propose. I don't know why my mouse is stopping on me. Excuse me. So they propose building a larger 11,020 square foot home over here as the primary structure
Jefferson County.
on the Jefferson County side.
And so the home in Jefferson County hasn't been built yet?
No.
Okay. And the one that's in Oldham County is just going to be a second home, or
Yes, becoming an ADU. Since our ordinances don't allow for two primary residences on one lot, they all allow Mr. Fisher.
If we just can, let him finish his presentation first, because I think a lot of questions will get answered if
Okay.
you let him get all the way through his presentation.
All right, thank you.
AG1 on our side, and then this, we don't keep the lit zoning layers of Jefferson County within ours, so I apologize, but it is R4 single-family residential in Jefferson. The applicant is requesting this 3,687 square foot home with 2,720 square feet of finished space currently under construction to be approved as a detached accessory dwelling unit to an unconstructed primary structure to be built on the Jefferson County side of the property. The applicant is requesting a conditional use permit to dedicate this partially completed residential building as a detached accessory dwelling unit. According to Oldham County Zoning Ordinance, Section 250-040E1, detached accessory dwelling units may be allowed only after approval of a conditional use permit. The applicant has submitted plans showing the finished square footage of the proposed primary structure to be 11,020 square feet. The application appears to conform with the remaining regulations in Section 250-040 of the Comprehensive Zoning Ordinances. Here is the plat that I provided in your packet showing the location of what is now going to be the ADU. And then here is a topography and site plan showing the ADU here, and then the location of the main house just across the county line, which runs more or less right through here. Here is a photo from the road, from Mint Springs Branch Road, looking in towards the property, which is currently a undeveloped tract right now. Just looking back towards what would be kind of in Jefferson County, the hamlet portion of the development there, the Norton Commons development back towards that direction. And then towards the river going that way. And here we have the ordinances for detached accessory dwelling units stating that within this Ag 1 zoning, a conditional use permit is required for a detached accessory dwelling unit. And in summary, the applicant is requesting a conditional use permit for a detached accessory dwelling unit located at 6612 Mint Springs Branch Road in Prospect. Potential conditions of approval would be the conditional use permit shall only apply to the plan considered at the October 16th, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing, and that the ADU will not be used as a short-term rental property. If you have any questions, I'm happy to entertain them.
So I'm still so confused by the split across across county lines. Is it, do we have other case history, or not specific to this case, but other cases in the county with ADU split from the primary residence in another county?
So I can't think of one where an ADU is split from the property, but we do have a lot of places, and we've got an apartment complex right now that's getting ready to go before the Planning Commission next week that literally splits the county line off Hounds Lane. And part of the units are going to be in the Jefferson County side, which has a different zoning, different requirements, and the other 3 or 4 buildings are going to be in the Oldham County side, which obviously has different regulations, different zoning, school capacity restrictions that Jefferson County doesn't have. There's a house out Pee Wee Valley area that actually the county line splits the house. And actually the school capacity gets into where the bedroom is located and where that person has to go to school. There's a lot of cases where the county line causes concern. A little bit of backstory with this situation is so this house was originally to be constructed as a single family. This case has a lot of backstory with neighbors and things like that. But originally, I think the intent was to do an ADU, but to do like another house. Well, in Oldham County, we can't have 2 houses on the same lot. And so we talked to the owner about different avenues of, what about splitting the lot? And then you don't have the size restrictions, and one house can be in the Jefferson County side and split it off. Mint Springs Branch, though, actually has something in their bylaws or deed restrictions that doesn't allow any further splits of lots. So that isn't an option. And so that's where really, I mean, we've worked with this owner several times on different avenues for them to do. So that's when they decided, okay, well, we'll make the primary dwelling in the Jefferson County side. They actually have applied for a permit with Jefferson County, but I've been in conversations with Metro. They're holding that building permit pending your all's approval of the ADU today. So essentially, she's already got a permit for this. They've already started construction. But now that it's being called an ADU, which is why we put the stop work order on it, pending your all's approval. And so we explained all that to her when we said, look, we're going to have to make you stop work because the ADU can't be allowed until it's approved at the Board of Adjustments. And the Jefferson County permit's not going to get approved until you all approve the ADU. So this is a big set of dominoes, and it's weird with it being on the county line, but essentially she's asking for approval of an ADU from you all that meets our size restrictions, even based off the size of the house they're building in Jefferson. And that's simply the kind of the extent of it. But I don't know if there's any examples where there's an ADU on one side, but there are cases where the county line causes.
So just to make sure I'm understanding, if she ever wants to sell this property, she's actually selling two houses on one lot that can't be separated?
Correct, according to the Mint Spring branch requirements.
Okay.
So,
And are there different impacts on the community as far as like school utilization, like from an ADU versus a primary residence?
no, I mean, essentially, you know, if they reside in that ADU and there's a kid in that house, they're going to Oldham County. And if there's a kid in the front house, he's going to Jefferson. And I mean, it gets really weird with a trash pickup. Emergency services, not so bad because the same fire department covers that area. Louisville Metro handles most of that area out there anyway. So not so much with that, but with trash, with schools, all that stuff, it's pretty wild. So.
Okay.
So if this is an ADU, could they ever rent that to somebody long-term?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have any,
no
we don't have
restrictions
any
on that?
regulations on the long term. Now, there is a
Okay.
condition of approval in your all's packet
Right, I
today
heard
that
that.
it shouldn't, you know, that can't be used as a short-term rental. But yeah, we don't have any restrictions on a long-term rental.
Okay.
Were there any letters of supporting or against?
No, neither support or against.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready for the applicant to come
Yeah.
forward. Name and address and be sworn in.
I'm Amanda Sweet. I'm the owner with my husband.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
I have letters of support from the neighbors I brought with.
Oh, okay. I guess we can put them on the projector, I guess, yeah. Why don't you just tell us, while he's working on that, tell us about your project. Tell us what you're trying to do.
Yeah, so we bought this 15 acres essentially 2 years ago, and the original intent was to build the place in Oldham County. What we're trying to get is an ADU. So that's why we applied for a single family permit and live in there for a while. Just because we wanted to be out there sooner. And then my father-in-law got sick and I had a baby, and so it just kind of slowed everything down. So then we're now at the point where we can just build the house too. The original intent was just to have that ADU or that separate structure for my parents who don't live here to come and visit. They come every few months, and just for them to stay for a couple weeks at a time and not feel like they're impeding on our life or our house, or, you know. So that was kind of just the intent with that. And it just, between the two counties and one of the neighbors, it just kind of got all like screwed up with. That's kind of why it's kind of confusing, I'm sure, with how we did it the way that we did it.
Okay.
So this one is the Forshés. So they share the property line in Oldham County with us on the left. They all say the same thing. I just typed it out and went and had them sign it and grabbed it from them. This is, Wade Lewis. He's 2 houses over. He's been back off that road for generations, so he's seen the development go back on that road. And then this last one is the people that share a property line with us on the right. So we got the property line, the people that share property lines with us are okay with it. And then Wade Lewis, which is 2 down from us.
Okay. Thank you. So those will be entered into the record. So the ADU, to use it as a short-term rental, you realize you'll have to come back again and get a separate application to do short-term rentals or that type of thing for it.
I don't have an intent to use it as a short-term rental. It's just more for my parents.
Okay.
It's just a couple bedrooms and a bathroom with like a loft.
Okay.
I don't, that could change, but that's not why we built it.
Any other questions from the board? No? Okay.
Well, I do have one question. So to get back to it, will the driveway just be like an extension of what goes past your house, or how will they access that?
Yeah, so there was already kind of a driveway there now, a dirt road, I guess a gravel driveway, and then there's a dam that dams the pond, I guess, or the little creek back there, and there's a culvert, so it does actually there is a drive that goes all the way back there, so we're gonna
So will the primary structure like share that same driveway?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any visibility on, I mean, I know there's a lot of construction going on in the Mint, as you get it toward Mint Springs, there's a whole subdivision. Now that Norton Commons is built out, there's like another subdivision. I don't know if it's part of Norton Commons or a separate project, but it's basically right there, right behind St. Bernadette Church and St. Mary's Academy. Is that going to be coming closer to your property, or what does that look like? Do you have any visibility on that?
Where's the... So on the plat,
I don't think
Norton Commons is actually going to be building right back here.
Right there.
And then I think what you're speaking to is Sanctuary Falls, and that's like way back over, kind of more over here. So they're not going to directly.
Okay.
But Norton Commons is, and our builder is one of the Norton Commons builders, and they've been letting us try to go through the backside because of the condition of this road right here, which is why one of the neighbors was all upset, kind of delaying us a little bit. But Norton Commons is like also allowing us access because they're in support of us building too.
Okay. I don't have any more questions. Okay. Obviously, there's nobody else in the audience, so there's nobody else in favor or opposed. So I think we'll close the floor for discussion and have discussion among the board.
I don't have any questions,
No.
concerns.
I support approving this.
Okay. I'm very familiar with this area and have friends in that area, and we go to church there at St. Bernadette, and I'm very familiar with the construction of all the houses that are approaching that area. It's interesting how it's developing. So I'm in favor of it too. My daughter actually lives across Harrods Creek. You can probably, in the wintertime, you can probably walk from her house to this house here. Actually, it's amazing. There's no way to get across there. So as the crow flies from my house to church is about a mile. Driving, it's 8 miles. So there's no way to get across Oldham County in that area. So, okay, I'll close for discussion. And, is there a motion to approve? Or motion, one way or the other?
Yeah, I can make a motion. A move to approve OC 25-047. Just double check. Yep. A conditional use permit for an attached dwelling unit at 5950 Old LaGrange Road in Crestwood. Is that? Sorry, 6612 Mint Springs Branch Road. It is, sorry. Yep. Because this proposed use is essential or desirable to the community and not in conflict with the elements, objectives, and policies of the comprehensive plan based on one or more of the following factors. Granting this conditional use permit will allow the proper integration into the community for use specifically named in the zoning regulation. The character and objectives of the proposed use and the potential impacts on the community and its surroundings are appropriate. The proposed use is compatible with the surrounding land uses and the general character of the area, including factors like the height, bulk, scale, intensity, traffic, noise, lighting, and appearance. The proposed use will also not impair with the integrity and character of the zone if there are any just leave it at that. The conditions for approval on this are that it will only apply to the application that we are considering at the October 16th, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing, and that the detached ADU will not be used as a short-term rental property. And this is all based on the testimony that we have seen and entered into the record today.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous. You're approved. Next, we have the minutes from the September 18th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. That's approved. Anything else that we need to talk about? Any old business, new business?
Filing deadline's not until next week, but chances are you'll probably have a meeting, so just plan on your normal day, normal time.
For next month, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
When will it be?
Keep your phone on you. November, whatever the third Thursday of that month is. November 20th.
And when is Thanksgiving? Is the
That's
next
the next
week?
week.
The next
Okay,
week,
the week before Thanksgiving. Okay, good.
All right.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn?
Second.
second, whatever.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.